Thank you for clicking on this Fun with Pete and Sherry video, and Happy New Year, everybody. It's me, Mr. Julian, here with a special New Year's edition of Fun with Pete and Sherry. I'm sorry I haven't had a video in about 3 months. Actually, I can't say I'm sorry. I'm kind of glad I took a break. Anything in life that one does with mindless repetition becomes a chore, and I didn't want this to be a chore. This was meant to be fun. That's why I'm back now, when it became fun again. I've been busy at work in any event, and much luck has come to me at work this year. Much fortune, I should say. It wasn't all luck. I spent a long time learning to do what I do well. People always say follow your dream. Well, of course you're going to follow your dream if you ever have an opportunity to. The question is, what do you do when no opportunity to follow your dream presents itself? And that's what I say is, hone your damn skills. Get underneath the thing so that when the opportunity does, you'll blow them the fuck away. I don't have a glass. As you can see, I have Tipsy the cat. And I have a, it's probably taller than you can see, a brand new cat tower that I got for Christmas. And I just went shopping and picked up 3 very interesting whiskeys. So let's go through them all. Okay, I'm back. Now, I've mentioned that I'm not actually drinking many of these scotches that I buy anymore, so I'm not going to be drinking them all tonight, but I will be opening one. It's New Year's Eve, after all. But let's see what's in my bag of tricks. First, Mortlach Rare Old. It is a brand new bottling from Mortlach, and not only brand new. Not only is the bottling brand new, I should say, but it is the first Mortlach that has been available in Virginia in the time that I've been paying attention to Scotch, which is quite a few years. So, no doubt a lot of people are going to jump at the opportunity to buy this, and I just to do a little research about what's going on. There were quite a lot of people talking about this whiskey, but I haven't heard anyone mention how it tastes yet. This isn't necessarily a whiskey that is about taste. This is an effort by Mortlach to become another Macallan, and that is to just sell their whiskeys for prices that have nothing to do with the manufacturing cost, but just created to create an artificial scarcity, if you will. So this is an NAS expression. There's no law that says this has to be any older than 3 years, even though it says rare and old on it. And it costs $135. I bought it as an investment, and that's somewhat like you buy a momentum stock in the early stages of a bull market, which I think we are in for Scotch. If Mortlach gets away with this, that is, if the price of this rises in the aftermarket, then a lot of people are going to start trying to duplicate the effort, and at that point you're going to see a crash and a backlash. I'm betting that we're not in the crash and backlash stage yet. Could be wrong. That's what makes this sort of thing fun. You know, if worse comes to worse, 10 years from now, and I can only get 60 bucks for this online, oh, fuck, I'll just drink it. You know, it's not, punishment is not that bad, right? So yeah, no, I'm not going to open this. I've had Mortlach independent bottlings, and they've been really good. I've had, you know, they've had some nice, really nice orangey and particularly tangerine-like tastes. That's about all I got about that one. Kitty, kitty. Next up, and this is a great surprise, the trick for buying whiskey in a control state is to have a lot of things that you know about and are interested in, and then to be patient, because you don't know what's going to show up on the shelf at the ABC store. And this was a complete surprise to me. Oban Little Bay. And yes, I confess I've fallen behind in my reading. I have not been keeping up on what distilleries are doing for the past few months, so I didn't know Oban was working on this. This is they're taking what they call mature Oban. They're not saying how old, and finishing it in a quarter cask, or at least a very small cask. Small oak casks. Probably a quarter cask. They don't want to, I don't think, copy Lefroyg's quarter cask directly, at least in the name, but clearly this is an extra oak expression, and I, for one, am extremely interested in tasting it. Oban is delicate but complex with smoke and salt and peach, and just a delightful whiskey. And I find I'm unable to do the math in my head as to what it's going to taste like with the extra oak. And you know what? I wasn't going to do this. I was going to wait for the next one. But screw it. I have to know what this tastes like. We're on this adventure together here, friends. Oban, which many people call Oban incorrectly, is a Highland distillery, small distillery. It is owned by Diageo. Handsome package, nice color, beautiful color Scotch. Let's see, can I get a no artificial coloring? Not necessarily. Alright, let me pause you guys while I do some reading. Boop. Okay, so 43%, and no indication that this is non-chill filtered or that it has no artificial coloring. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm not going to drink this. Because I'm only going to open one bottle, I know that, and I choose a whiskey that is non-chill filtered and has no coloring added, if I can, and that is what I am going to do tonight. Okay. Glenlivet is a distillery you almost surely know of. Glenlivet 12-year-old single malt Scotch is a mainstay in America. Glenlivet is the most popular single malt Scotch in America. It is not bad to use as a baseline or benchmark against other Scotches. If you want to experience Glenlivet in its best form that I've ever had, and I've had up through 25, the best is Nadurra. Nadurra is 16 years old. It is means nude in Scotch Gaelic, and no chill filtering, no color added. It is just a really delicious, like pineapple juice flavored Scotch. It is a Scotch that I'm convinced, if it weren't, I'm convinced that it would be, if it were from a distillery that people didn't know as well as Glenlivet, it would be an absolute underground favorite that Scotch aficionados loved and hoarded and thought they were better than everyone else for knowing about and liking. And but because it's from Glenlivet, it's just sort of painted, I think, with the same Glenlivet brush. And every time I drink Nadurra, I have to remind myself, take it slow. Whether it's rare or not, it is a precious Scotch in its taste, and in its presentation. It is the Scotch made and served the way we like it. This I had not known about. This is a version of Nadurra not just finished, but matured all along in Oloroso sherry casks. Is it a shame that it isn't also 16 years old? Yes. Would it have been really, really cool if they were able to wait and present it at 16? Yes. That would make it much like, or even more so than Balvetti's recent single barrel sherry scotch. That, as you know, I thought was good. Very real, authentic sherry flavor. Deep, powerful, stewed fruit flavor. Sherry has gotten to be a double-edged sword, folks. What's happening is there's not enough to go around, so two things are happening. The Scotch people, and this most people know about, are using casks to finish it. They're using the same sherry casks many times for a Scotch to run through it to just give it a little finish. And the flavor that gets into it from that is distinctive as sherry, but it lacks the heart. And sometimes I think that sherry finish can be a negative for a Scotch. It can impart a perfumey taste that does nothing to enhance. So watch out for that. Now, this is becoming worse because even as whiskey distilleries are starting to stretch things further and further, well, the same is true of sherry makers who are using more and more oak barrels in the process, so that they'll have more barrels to sell to the Scotch industry. Some of them are owned by the same companies, and as a result, the wood itself is not coming with the deep sherry flavor in it. And what can you do about that? Well, I don't know. You can read carefully and find out if a Scotch was matured straight through in a first fill Oloroso sherry cask, and, you know, be willing to pay for it if that's what you want, because that won't come cheap. But you can't really know the quality of the wood. You just have to have a good feel for the distillery and their reputation for quality. And every once in a while, you also just gotta take a swing. The fuck, right? That's what I did here. Took a swing. Color bright gold. Well, that's odd. Why would it be bright gold? Used by whiskey makers. First fill. So we have some controversy about that sometimes. These are first fill casks. Okay, bottled at cask strength. And the Nadurra way is to be non-chill filtered and no color added. I do want to see if I can find that. Traditionally crafted in small batches with no chill filtration. Good. And that is not a gold. That is more like an amber +2. Alright. Well, we're committed. They say nude, here they say it means natural. I've heard people say it means nude. Alcohol volume, 60.7%. Zing. It's New Year's. I'm at home, and I'm not going anywhere. I've mentioned this with these scotches before. Even if you think you know what you're doing, don't drive if you've had a drop of this stuff. Wow. So far, my mind is having a hard time putting this together. I feel like someone opened a bottle of Glenlivet Nadura under one nostril, and like a bottle of Glengoyne 21 under the other. Let's put it in a glass and see what happens. Yeah, fig. Ooh, yeah. Lots of fig. Big fig. Little hints of orange peel. Quite rich and promising. And, oh, other fruits in there. Lemon and orange. And, well, a lot of sweet and citrus fruits under there. What does that put me in the mood of? Try a little straight. Then I'm going to add some water. Wow. Yeah. I would say the train that just went down my mouth was actually very much as I described the nose. It began with the low-ish fruits like date, some cherry, more estery stuff, and sort of reaching to embrace that was quickly bull-rushed over by brighter flavors of lemony citrus, orange. Oh. So I'm going to need a moment to contemplate this. A lot of interesting stuff going on here, but I think I am sensing here tremendous promise. But this shows its youth. Winey, very winey. I'm sensing grape and grape peel. It's a little sour. Yeah, sourish wine. A lot more sour and just intense on the sort of lemon and wine grape aspect than I was anticipating. The mystery with a Scotch like this is, what do you do with it? The flavor is going to be too much for a beginner. Are you going to give it to the old pros who are going to be able to detect its youth? Even though it's good, it's a conundrum. But let's not be hasty. This may have more to say to me, particularly after a little water. Alright, how much have I got in there? 3/4 of an ounce. That brought it up to 7/8 of an ounce. For me, that was a healthy splash of water. But this whiskey is certainly strong enough to withstand it. Beautiful whiskey mist. I think that this whiskey mist that they sacrifice flavor to get rid of is beautiful. You can see it rippling, and it's quite hypnotic. Really beautiful stuff. When you put water into a Scotch like this, the layers of water and whiskey wrap around each other, and all kinds of beautiful Brownian motion. And you can see from the ripples that there is a storm going on in there. It's going to take that storm a long time to get down to the molecular level. That is why most people don't get the full effect for adding water to their Scotch, because they drink it right away. That's just drinking watered down Scotch. The magic doesn't happen for a few minutes. Hey, good looking. I'll be back to pick you up later. Alright, in about a half an hour. And, hey, it's still on the nose, very, get that very deep, stewed fruit flavor. Much more so than the harsher citrus flavor, which I'm getting very little now. Well, let's see. Not tipsy. Now it's kind of like a date with lots of orange peel stuck around it. I don't know. It's not doing anything more than that. So I actually would prefer regular Nadurra over this. I give this a 7.2. Happy New Year!